Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something real quick. How comfortable are you right now? I mean, really comfortable. So comfortable that you feel like you don't need to push, don't need to grow, don't need to chase anything bigger than what you already have. I want you to listen carefully, because here's the truth that most people refuse to face. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. Comfort is not your friend. It's a trap. It whispers in your ear every day telling you, relax, you've done enough, while your dreams slowly die in the background. If you want to reach levels of success that most people only read about in books or watch on social media, you must learn to embrace discomfort. You must be willing to do things today that others refuse to do because they are too comfortable in their mediocre lives. Think about the greatest achievers in history. Do you think they woke up one morning in their comfort zone and magic happened? No. Every single one of them faced uncertainty, challenges, and situations that made them feel uncomfortable, whether it was taking risks, facing rejection, or stepping into unknown territories. That's where growth happens. The way. They didn't have the luxury of comfort. They faced obstacles that would make most people quit before they even began. They worked when everyone else was sleeping, learned when everyone else was resting, and sacrificed when everyone else was indulging. And here's the hook you need to feel deeply. If comfort doesn't push you, if it doesn't irritate you in some way, it's not helping you, it's killing you. Every time you choose the easy path, every time you stay in your bubble, every time you say, I'll do it tomorrow, you are slowly suffocating your own ambition. Let me be real with you. Comfort is deceptive. It feels safe. It feels secure. It lulls you into thinking that everything is fine. But listen carefully, because this is where the truth hits hard. Comfort is a trap. It's the silent thief that robs you of your purpose, your dreams, and your potential. You might not see it happening, but over time, the small choices you make in favor of comfort add up to a life that is mediocre at best. And the pain of mediocrity is far heavier than the temporary discomfort of pushing yourself. Every moment you settle, every moment you choose ease over excellence, you are dimming the light that was meant to shine brightly in the world. Here's another hook. Your brain is wired to seek comfort. Evolution made sure of that. It wants safety, it wants predictability, it wants routine. But your potential doesn't exist in the safe zone. Your potential exists in the unknown, in the challenges, in the situations that make your heart race and your palms sweat. That's where the magic happens. That's where you discover who you really are. That's where ambition grows into achievement. And the people who master this understand a simple truth. If it doesn't stretch you, it doesn't change you. If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't elevate you. Every time you push past comfort, you are building the strength, resilience, and discipline that create extraordinary results. Ask yourself, how far could you go if you made discomfort your daily companion? How much could you achieve if you refuse to let ease dictate your choices? Comfort is not your friend. Comfort is not your guide. It will seduce you with false security and lull you into a life smaller than the one you were meant to live. If you want to rise, if you want to leave a mark, if you want to live a life of abundance, influence, and impact, you must confront comfort, challenge comfort, and ultimately reject comfort at every turn. Because comfort kills ambition, and ambition is the very thing that separates ordinary people from those who achieve greatness. Have you ever felt that uncomfortable feeling? The one that makes your stomach tighten, your mind race, and your heart beat faster? That feeling is not a mistake. That feeling is your growth signal. Listen carefully, because most people run from it, dismiss it, or pretend it doesn't exist. Discomfort is not a punishment. It is a message, a signal that you are standing on the edge of your next level. Every time you feel challenged, every time you are pushed beyond what feels easy, that is your opportunity knocking. The universe has a way of testing you, stretching you, and shaking you out of complacency. And if you refuse to lean into that discomfort, you will never reach your potential. Think about it. The greatest athletes, entrepreneurs, and leaders in history did not achieve greatness in moments of comfort. They achieved it in moments that terrified them, moments that tested every ounce of their strength and courage, and moments that forced them to step into the unknown. Here's the first hook you need to understand. Discomfort is temporary, but the results it brings last a lifetime. Every time you push past the resistance, every time you do what others refuse to do because it feels hard or awkward, you are training your mind and your spirit for higher levels of achievement. Most people mistake discomfort for failure, and that's why they stop short of their potential. They feel the unease, the uncertainty, and they back down, telling themselves, this is too much for me. But the truth is that very feeling is your signal to move forward, to lean in harder, to rise higher. Discomfort is the proving ground for ambition. And if you avoid it, you are avoiding the very thing that can transform your life. Here's a second hook. Your comfort zone is a lie. It tells you that staying where you are is safe, that you are doing enough, that there is no need to stretch beyond what is familiar. But here's the harsh reality. Comfort zones are prisons in disguise. They keep your dreams small, your goals limited, and your impact minimal. Every time you step out of comfort, every time you embrace the unease, you expand your capacity for success. Discomfort challenges you to think differently, act differently, and achieve differently. And every moment you hesitate, every moment you cling to ease, you are telling the world and yourself that your potential has limits when in fact it does not. Now imagine for a moment what your life would look like if you began to see discomfort as your ally rather than your enemy. Imagine embracing the moments that make you uneasy, leaning into the challenges that scare you, and using every ounce of resistance as fuel to push forward. That is how you grow. That is how you build resilience, confidence, and character that cannot be shaken. And here's the third hook. Success is always on the other side of discomfort. The exact thing that feels impossible today is the exact thing that will elevate you tomorrow. Every setback, every difficult conversation, every challenge that feels overwhelming is an opportunity dressed in disguise. The people who achieve greatness do not avoid it. They run toward it. Discomfort is not just a test of your ability, it is a test of your commitment, your focus, and your willingness to pursue excellence at all costs. The moment you start seeing it as a signal instead of a threat, your entire mindset shifts. You stop looking for the easy way out and start seeking the hard, the uncomfortable, and the challenging, knowing that that is where transformation lives. Every time you embrace discomfort, you are rewriting the story of your life, proving to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. Your dreams are waiting on the other side of unease, and discomfort is the bridge you must cross. Let me ask you a question that might make you uncomfortable. How often do you play it safe? How often do you settle for what feels familiar instead of reaching for what could change your life forever? I need you to hear this because most people misunderstand the very thing that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Risk is not something to fear. It is the road to reward. Every great achievement, every life-changing breakthrough, every moment of real success came as a result of someone daring to take a step that others refused to take. Risk is the vehicle that carries ambition to results, and if you are unwilling to step into uncertainty, you are willingly limiting your own destiny. Comfort may feel safe, but safety will never create greatness. Safety will never create wealth, influence, or impact. The people who leave a mark on this world are not the cautious. They are the bold. Here's the first hook you need to lock in your mind. Every time you avoid risk, you are choosing mediocrity. Every time you decide the easy path over the challenging one, you are denying yourself the opportunity to grow, the opportunity to lead, and the opportunity to achieve things that most people only dream about. Risk is not reckless. Risk is calculated courage. It is about assessing the situation, planning your move, and being willing to take action when others freeze. The world rewards action, not hesitation. And here's the truth that most people refuse to admit. Risk is unavoidable if you want to live a life that matters. You can stay in your comfort zone, but your potential will stay exactly where it is. Or you can embrace risk and with it, the possibility of extraordinary results. Let me give you another hook. Fear is the shadow of risk, and most people let that shadow control them. They feel the fear and they back away, telling themselves, it's too much, I'm not ready, maybe later. But the reality is fear is not a stop sign. Fear is a signal that you are on the edge of your next level. Every time you feel fear, every time you feel hesitation, that is exactly the moment you should act. The people who achieve greatness do not act because it feels safe. They act because they understand that risk is the price of reward. They step into the unknown knowing that the greatest opportunities live there, beyond the familiar, beyond the predictable, beyond the ordinary. Now imagine this. How different would your life be if you embraced risk instead of avoiding it? How much could you achieve if you learned to see uncertainty not as a threat, but as a door to something bigger, something better, something life-changing? That is the mindset that separates winners from dreamers. Risk is not about gambling blindly. It is about moving forward with faith, with strategy, and with unwavering belief in yourself. Every time you take a step others won't, every time you face rejection, every time you encounter failure and keep moving forward, you are building resilience, wisdom, and momentum that cannot be stopped. Here's another hook. Most people only see the potential downsides of risk, but they ignore the infinite possibilities on the other side. The opportunity, the success, the recognition, and the freedom that come from taking bold action far outweigh the temporary discomfort of stepping into the unknown. Risk expands your vision, challenges your limits, and accelerates your growth in ways comfort never can. If you want to achieve results that most people only dream about, you must learn to embrace risk as a constant companion, not as a threat. The people who changed their lives are not those who waited for certainty. They are those who acted boldly, strategically, and consistently in the face of uncertainty. Risk is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Every moment of hesitation, every attempt to play it safe, every choice to stay in your comfort zone keeps your dreams just out of reach. But when you embrace risk, when you take bold, calculated action, you step into the realm of possibility, the realm of greatness, and the realm of life-changing results. Every success story you admire is built on risk, and every opportunity you want is waiting for you on the other side of fear. Let me ask you something that might hit hard. How often do you find yourself making excuses? How often do you hear that voice in your head saying, "I'll do it tomorrow, I'm too tired," or "I don't have the resources right now"? That voice is not harmless. That voice is the enemy of your success. Excuses are the silent killers of dreams. They disguise themselves as logic, as reason, as self-care even, but in reality, every excuse you make is a wall between you and your potential. The moment you allow excuses to guide your decisions, you are choosing comfort over greatness, delay over action, and mediocrity over mastery. Here's the first hook you need to hear. Excuses are easy, but they cost more than you think. Every time you say, "I can't" or "not now," you are stealing opportunities from yourself. You are giving power to fear, laziness, and doubt, and the life you imagine slipping through your fingers becomes just a dream, not a reality. The people who achieve greatness are not those who had perfect conditions or unlimited resources. They are those who refuse to let excuses control their actions. They understood a simple, undeniable truth. Success is built on action, not justification. Now consider this. The human mind is wired to seek comfort, and excuses are its favorite. E-tool. I'm too busy. I'll wait until the timing is better. Someone else will do it. These are phrases that sound reasonable, but keep you chained to the same results you've always had. Every excuse delays your growth, and the longer you delay, the more distant your goals become. Here's the second hook. Excuses might feel safe in the moment, but they are dangerous in the long run. They create habits of inaction, and habits of inaction become lifestyles of mediocrity. The world doesn't reward intentions, it rewards results. And every excuse you make is a choice to stay small when you were meant to be big. Ask yourself, what would happen if you stopped giving power to excuses? What would your life look like if you stopped rationalizing why you can't start, why you can't pursue, why you can't go all in? That is where transformation begins. Every obstacle, every limitation, every reason to delay is actually an invitation to step up, to rise above, and to prove to yourself that you are stronger than the stories your mind tells you. Excuses are just illusions that distract you from action. And the moment you recognize them for what they are, you unlock the door to relentless progress. Here's another hook. Most people wait for perfect conditions to act, but perfect conditions never exist. The world doesn't pause to accommodate your comfort or your hesitation. Success favors those who act despite uncertainty, despite fear, and despite imperfect circumstances. The people who create extraordinary results are not those who wait. They are those who act with courage, consistency, and clarity, using every obstacle as fuel for growth. Every excuse avoided is a step closer to your goals, and every action taken, no matter how small, compounds into extraordinary outcomes over time. Let me be clear. Excuses are not just words, they are choices. Every time you choose them, you are choosing a smaller life, a limited vision, and unrealized potential. Every time you refuse them, you are choosing empowerment, accountability, and a path toward greatness. The difference between the life you have now and the life you want lies not in talent, not in luck, but in the willingness to take responsibility, stop rationalizing, and act when others hesitate. Excuses are the chains that keep you tied to ordinary results, and the only way to break free is to refuse them relentlessly, boldly, and consistently. Let me ask you something. Are you aware of the choices you make every single day? Most people aren't. Most people move through life on autopilot, following routines that feel safe, predictable, and comfortable without realizing that these choices are defining the quality of their future. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is the decisions you make when no one is watching. The difference between mediocrity and greatness is the courage to choose the path that challenges you instead of the one that soothes you. Here's the first hook. Your life is the sum of your daily choices, and the moment you consistently choose comfort over challenge, you are shaping a life far below your potential. Every safe decision, every easy path, every moment you settle is a brick in the wall that separates you from your dreams. Think about this. If you continue choosing the path of least resistance, what will your life look like in 5 years? Most people never stop to imagine this, and that's why they stay stuck. They assume that incremental comfort is harmless, that postponing growth is fine, and that life will somehow reward them without effort. Here's the harsh truth. Life does not reward passivity. Life does not reward those who wait for permission or wait for the perfect moment. Life rewards action, bold decisions, and the willingness to take the road that scares you, the road that makes you uncomfortable, the road that stretches you beyond what you thought possible. That is the path to extraordinary results, and it always begins with the decision to choose greatness over ease. Here's another hook. Every choice you make is either moving you closer to your dreams or pushing you further away. There is no neutral ground. Every time you choose convenience over challenge, comfort over courage, you are slowly programming yourself to accept mediocrity. The people who rise to the top are not those who avoid hard decisions. They are those who confront them, who embrace the uncertainty, who step boldly into discomfort, knowing that every challenge is a building block for success. When you start thinking of your daily choices as either stepping stones or stumbling blocks, you begin to see the power you hold over your own destiny. Now, imagine a life where you consistently choose the path that challenges you, even when it's uncomfortable. Imagine the growth, the resilience, and the confidence you would build over time. Imagine the doors that would open when you refuse to settle for ordinary. That is the essence of greatness. The ability to make decisions that others avoid, to act when others hesitate, to persevere when others quit. Here's the next hook. Your comfort zone is not just holding you back, it's quietly convincing you that small thinking is acceptable. Every time you reject the safe option, you are rewiring your mind for extraordinary achievement. Ask yourself this: how different would your results be if every choice you made leaned toward growth instead of ease? How much stronger, smarter, and more capable would you be if you consistently embrace the hard path? The answer is simple: radically different. Every extraordinary life is built on intentional choices that defy comfort, and every ordinary life is the result of repeated decisions that favor safety over risk, ease over effort, and familiarity over challenge. Here's another hook. Success is not a single decision. It is the compound effect of countless daily decisions that prioritize growth, courage, and action over convenience. If you want to step into your highest potential, you must start seeing your choices as power. Each moment is an opportunity to move closer to your goals or further away. Comfort makes indecision feel normal, but indecision is the silent killer of dreams. Greatness comes to those who act boldly, choose consistently, and refuse to let ease dictate their path. The extraordinary life you want is waiting, and it is waiting for the choices you make today, tomorrow, and the day after that. Your future is created by what you choose now, and the path you walk every day determines whether you remain ordinary or become extraordinary. Let me ask you something powerful. How do you react when life gets uncomfortable? How do you respond when the challenge is bigger than you expected? The obstacle seems impossible, and the fear inside threatens to stop you in your tracks. Most people run, most people retreat, most people find the nearest excuse to avoid the pain. But here's the hook. Discomfort is not your enemy. Discomfort is your ally. The very moments that feel the hardest, the moments that test your patience, your courage, and your commitment, are the exact moments that shape you into the person capable of achieving extraordinary results. Growth lives in discomfort, strength is forged in difficulty, and resilience is built when you refuse to back down. Every challenge you face is not a punishment, it is a stepping stone to the greatness that awaits you. Think about this for a moment. Every successful person you admire, every leader, entrepreneur, athlete, or innovator did not achieve their results by staying comfortable. They embraced the struggle. They leaned into the pressure. They chose to act when others hesitated, to endure when others quit, and to persist when the easy choice was to stop. And here's the hook that most people ignore. Your mind will try to convince you that discomfort is bad. It will tell you to avoid challenges, to take shortcuts, to settle. But that voice is lying. That voice is protecting you from temporary pain, not helping you reach long-term success. The moment you start seeing discomfort as your ally instead of your enemy, everything changes. Ask yourself, how often do you avoid what is hard because it is uncomfortable? How often do you settle for what is easy because the challenge feels too big? Here's the harsh truth. Every time you run from discomfort, you are shrinking your potential. You are limiting the results that are possible for you, and you are trading your dreams for temporary comfort. But when you choose to embrace discomfort, when you decide to push through fear, uncertainty, and resistance, you unlock levels of power, confidence, and achievement that most people only dream about. Every setback, every obstacle, every difficult moment becomes fuel for your success. And every time you push forward despite it, you grow stronger than you ever imagined. Here's another hook. Discomfort is a teacher disguised as struggle. Every challenging situation, every failure, every moment of uncertainty is an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to become better. The people who achieve greatness do not avoid lessons wrapped in difficulty. They study them, they master them, and they turn them into advantages that propel them beyond the competition. If you want results that are extraordinary, you must see discomfort as a tool, as a mentor, and as a necessary companion on your journey. The easier the path, the less you learn and the less you achieve. The harder the path, the more you grow and the further you go. Imagine the power in your life if you refuse to let discomfort scare you, if you consistently leaned into every challenge, if you made the choice to embrace difficulty as a catalyst for progress. Your confidence would grow, your resilience would become unshakable, and your capacity to achieve results would expand beyond what you thought possible. Here's the final hook. Discomfort is not temporary weakness, it is temporary training for permanent strength. The pain, the fear, and the resistance you feel now are shaping you into someone who can handle anything life throws your way. Someone who can achieve what others deem impossible. Someone who can rise to greatness no matter the circumstances. Every opportunity to stretch, to challenge yourself, to face fear head on is a doorway to the extraordinary life you desire. The people who succeed understand this deeply. They do not wait for comfort. They do not pray for ease. They step into discomfort over and over again, knowing that it is the only path to mastery, success, and true achievement. Your life is waiting on the other side of discomfort, and the moment you make it your ally, you step into your highest potential, where results, impact, and greatness are not just possible, they are inevitable. Ladies and gentlemen, greatness is not waiting for you in your comfort zone. It's out there, in the grind, in the hustle, in the moments when you push yourself past fear, past doubt, past the easy path. Your life will never change until you embrace discomfort. Your results will never change until you make discomfort your ally. So starting today, I want you to make a decision. Comfort will no longer dictate your future. You will step into the unknown, you will challenge yourself, and you will pursue greatness relentlessly. Because comfort is the enemy of greatness, and the choice to conquer it is the choice to change your life forever.